Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. Actually, we're outside of the shop because this is kind of a messy job we're going to be doing today. But we're going after this master cylinder. This is a 81 Chevy C30, but most of your C10s, pretty much all your 70s, 80s, and even up into the 90s, although the master cylinder changes look and it has a plastic reservoir on the 90s models ones. But other than that, it's pretty much all the same. So we're going to go ahead and get to removing this thing. To do that, you're going to need a line wrench, preferably. If you don't have a line wrench, you can get it done without them, but it's better. And someone else didn't use a line wrench here, and they've kind of rounded off this fitting, so I'm a little worried about that. You're going to need a 14 mil. This is one of these trucks that's got kind of a mix of all different kinds of stuff on it here. So you got some metric and some standard wrenches that you're going to need to break out. But I've got the 14, or I'm sorry, it's a 15 mil. I said 14, I believe, but that's a 15. And we're going to need to take those loose once we get these lines broken loose. So we're going to want to do it in the right order, though, because it'd be really hard to remove these lines once you take those bolts out. Before that, just to give us the best chance here and make it the easiest as possible, we're gonna get everything a little wet with this stuff. Okay, and we'll let that set for a couple of minutes, and let's see if we can break these loose fairly easily. Okay, good, that one came right off. All right, awesome. Now I'm just going to leave it on there like that for a moment. This one, I think we're going to have to put it back up on here. And hopefully they didn't booger up the threads too much. Oh no, it's trying to roll around there. So let me try a 9/16. If I can find a nice flat spot on it. Here we go. Get out in front of it a little bit. Yep, that's not good. I've got a 14 over here. Let me try that. See if I can get it to go. Okay, that son of a gun is way too tight. I don't want to round it off anymore, so I'm trying to be really careful. Okay, I'm going to try to put it on this part that's already kind of goobered up over here. Just want it tight enough. Okay. Come on, baby. Alright, I'm going to get this out of the way. See if we can't give that a couple of tap taps. Okay. Not good. That sucks. Next up, when we get these bolts out here, 20 minutes from now, the way it's going, I will attempt to, I'll turn the video back on, and we're going to attempt to unscrew the master cylinder from the line. I'm going to have to kind of bend it up a little bit, but as you saw, there was no way I was getting that off without breaking the line or something. It's not leaking there. We got those bolts loose, so now let's attempt to do this thing here. Keep a rag close by, because I just got a feeling this crap's going to go everywhere. So, I know this one's fairly loose, so I'm going to have to spin it that way. So I'm going to have to lift it up a little bit so that I can do that. And of course, this thing's not a featherweight either. That bracket wasn't attached. I'm going to get that back on there whenever we get the new one. So let's get that out of the way a little bit there. And we should be loose enough to spin this thing. Let's give it a rest right there. I'm trying to get my rag wrapped around it so I can be as clean as possible. Okay, there it went, finally. Okay. We got her out without destroying anything, so I'm going to set this aside. Watch out for brake fluid. It'll eat the paint off of anything that it hits, so be real careful about that. We're going to get all this cleaned up and prepared. Before I put that new one on, I'm going to put some Never Sees on a lot of this stuff. I'm going to cut this whole thing down and these threads here, so that next time, if there is a next time, that it'll be easier. And that's probably indication that the master cylinder was leaking at one time right there. It's a little dirty inside of there, so we're going to clean all that out, get it prepped up, and then go get our new part. So stay tuned, guys. That wasn't too bad. We got it done. I didn't like that. It wasn't as graceful as I expected. I thought we'd be able to get it with the crescent wrench. Usually you can, or I'm sorry, the vice grips if it comes to that point, but I was afraid I was going to snap that off. Alright, so now we're going to try to throw this guy back on there the opposite way we took it off here. Let's see. And it's going to be a pain in the butt. Come on, baby. Ah, I felt like it right there. I think we're on it now. Yes. Sometimes you have to do things in an unorthodox way to get things done. Still way off. I was afraid of that. I either caught thread in a different way, or let's see if it's gonna work. Yeah, we got her. I'm gonna have to kind of adjust that a little bit. Maybe I can tighten it up a little more now that it's on there. Okay, slide him home. There we go. And I'm gonna attempt to tighten this up a little bit more. That's all we got. Okay. And it's now, I just need to thread this one in there quickly. And I want to get this guy in place. Right there. Okay. So now, just pop this out real quick. And get that guy in there. Go to your home. Yeah. Get in there. Yeah, sometimes you got to think outside of the box to work on these old vehicles, or else you'll end up having to buy a whole bunch more parts. We're not going to go crazy because you don't need to. This one we probably will have to put in a little tighter than we like, but I'm going to go grab a little never sees, put on these bolts, make it a little easier for next time. A little bit of that goes a long ways. Put our nuts back on. Grab our 15 and tighten her down. I'm not sure if there's torque specs to this. There probably is, but I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to put it on good and tight. As the Germans say, good and tight. Probably snug this side up a little, then go on the other side, snug it up a little, and come back and finish them off. So that's basically it, guys. That's how you put a master cylinder on one of these old square body Chevys. Pretty easy job, except for when your brake lines get stuck. It can kind of complicate things a little, but you want to bench bleed the master cylinder because it'll save you a lot of time in the next step here, because we're going to put new brake calipers on this truck, and then we're going to need to bleed all the system out. Hopefully I don't have to replace the lines, but I may have to also replace the brake lines. We'll see. But let's go ahead and get everything tightened up, and when we're all done, we will I bought a remand master cylinder here, so when we're all done, we're going to start the truck up and put some, top off the master cylinder here, get plenty of fluid in it, pump it up a few times, see how it feels, and make sure to look around here for leaks. We don't want any leaks. Torque down to 1 grunt worth. Okay, that's looking pretty good, guys. Pull you up here, and we will take a look at how much fluid we need to add. Perfect. You don't have to go all the way up to the edge of it. That's about right there. So we're going to put the lid back on, fire the truck up, and we'll get inside, pump the brakes a few times. I'll let you know how it feels. All right, new master cylinder's looking good, and it's the next day, by the way. Last night a buddy of mine came by while I was filming, and he decided he wanted to come by and help me work on this thing. So we pulled it in the shop, changed the oil, did a little bit of tune-up stuff, fixed a couple of vacuum leaks. For one, this actually had a straight plug in it, so I put an angled one in it. I had one with a 90-degree elbow on it like that, so that worked out a lot nicer, a PCV valve. And changed the oil and filter, and also I jacked up this wheel and determined that this caliper is stuck. Now it's stuck open though, so that's good. At least it's not damaging the rotor anymore. So next up, we're going to get in, start it up, try it out, and see how we did on the braking system. Cold start. I found out yesterday the choke is disconnected on this thing, so no choke, just a cold start. Give it a couple of pumps. Oh yeah, she is starting right up now. Before it was it would start right up, but then it would die immediately. So that's an improvement right there. The vacuum advance on the distributor was disconnected, so I connected that. I'm gonna feel the brake pedal. Feels good. It's high and hard. That's what you want. yeah, she is running a lot better. Still need to get that exhaust leak fixed, but that'll be one of the next things, along with the tune-up. Anytime you've been doing brake work, you want to like hit the pedal a couple of times before you get going too fast. Make sure you got some pedal. Oh yeah, it's feeling a lot better, even though I've only got 3 brakes working. The master cylinder was definitely a problem, that old master cylinder, so can't really go for a proper test drive, but I'm feeling that the other brakes are working. So guys, that was a big success. We keep plugging away at this thing. We'll have her pulling heavy load all the way down the road. Hopefully no breakdown. Hope this helped you out if you've never changed a master cylinder. Not that big of a deal if you know how to do it. Just make sure you bench bleed it. Don't skip that step or you'll end up paying for it later. So appreciate you tuning in. We'll see you next time.